Howdy folks, this is my third video in the series on growing an inexpensive Mittleider garden in your own soil. And in this one I'm in the process of showing you how to mix up the weekly feed. I generally do this in a wheelbarrow, and I use a flat nose shovel to mix everything up, and a little scoop or a little cup, kind of like that, to make sure everything's mixed up well. But true to the theme of this series, I'm trying to show you how you can do this inexpensive. If you don't have a wheelbarrow, you can use a sheet like I'm doing here, or you can use a tarp. And all we're going to do is put all the ingredients out on our tarp, get it mixed up by pulling on the corners of the tarp, pulling it into the center, going to another corner, pulling it into the center, and just making sure that everything is very well distributed. Now, I am mixing up a 25-pound batch of weekly feed. And to do that, we're going to use 25 pounds of fertilizer, anything from a triple 13 up through a triple 17. I have triple 13 available here locally. That's what I'm going to use. Now, you can get these in some of the big box stores, the triple 13, the triple 15, 16s, and 17s. I have heard some people have found it at Walmart even. Sometimes as a seasonal thing, they're able to find it at Home Depot and Lowe's. I don't have any of those nearby me, and what I do is I go to a farmer's co-op. And if you look for the big grain elevators where all the farmers take their grain in the fall to sell it, if you go in there and talk to those folks, they're probably going to have this in a 50-pound bag for you to buy. That's what I've done. I got triple 13. I've measured out 25 pounds from the 50-pound bag, and to that I'm going to add 4 pounds of Epsom salt and the 10-ounce packet of micronutrients. The micronutrients you have got to buy from growfood.com, and the Epsom salt I just bought at Walmart. And if you'll notice my Epsom salt here, I've got it sitting in a pan, a mixing bowl rather. And the reason that I'm doing that is when I open up that container of Epsom salt, it's going to have clumps in it. And I'm going to dump it into the container. I'm going to break up all the clumps before I put it in with the fertilizer. If you pour it directly into your fertilizer, those clumps are going to be a kind of a pain in the butt. Get it broke up before you add it in, and you're going to save yourself a little bit of trouble. The only thing that I have not got laid out here is half a pound of perlite. And the perlite is inexpensive, and to a 25-pound batch of your weekly feed, you're going to add half a pound of perlite. And what the perlite is going to do, it's going to counteract the hygroscopic nature of the magnesium sulfate, and it's going to draw some of the moisture that the Epsom salt is drawn into the mixture into that perlite, and that's going to keep it from getting wet and gooey and sticky. Alright, let me bust open this container of Epsom salt, get that broke up, and get everything laid out and ready to go. There's my Epsom salt dumped into the mixing bowl, and there's several clumps like that. It's not hard to do. You'll just break it up. Get all the big clumps broke down before you add it to your sheet here to mix up. It's easier to do now before you put it in with the fertilizer. Alright, I'm going to shut this camera down, get this all mixed up, and I'll get it added onto the fertilizer. Alright, all the big clumps are broke up from my Epsom salt. I've got it poured over the top of my 25 pounds of fertilizer. And just to reiterate numbers here, that is 4 pounds of Epsom salt that I'm mixing with 25 pounds of fertilizer, half a pound of perlite, and 1 10-ounce bag of micronutrients. Okay, here you see I have got the micronutrients distribute it out over the top of that Epsom salt. The next step is actually going to be mix all of these ingredients together. I'm going to grab one side of the sheet and kind of bring it up and over and start mixing it up that way. I'll do one side, grab the other side and go back and just work corner to corner, side to side, until all of that material is well distributed. Nobody wants to see an old fat man bend over doing this type of stuff, so I'm going to cut out the camera and kind of show it to you in increments as I get it done. As you can see, it's starting to come together, and all I'm going to do is continue to lift the sides of this sheet and move the material around on it and get it to mix up that way. And I know you really couldn't see that, but you get the gist. And you're just going to continue like that until everything is well distributed in there. You can also use a little scoop, like my little Tupperware cup I've got here, and mix it up that way. Alright, I'm going to get this done. And there it is. That is my weekly feed that has been mixed up, and it's ready to go into a bucket and taken out to the garden and be used there. I have used 25 pounds of my fertilizer, and I have triple 13 available locally, and that's what I have used. 13, 15, 16, 17, all of those, any of those, are suitable for your weekly feed for your garden. For every 25 pounds of your fertilizer, you're adding 4 pounds of Epsom salt and one 10-ounce packet of your micronutrients that you get from growfood.com. Folks, thanks for watching, and I'm going to have another video to follow this on mixing the pre-plant, which is even easier. If you have any questions, let me know. And if there are any other topics you would like to see me cover, let me know. As we're transferring this into the bucket, it occurred to me, I did not say one 25-pound mixture of your weekly feed will fill your bucket 3/4 to almost full, depending on the fertilizer that you're using. So you'll need one 5-gallon bucket to mix up 25 pounds of your weekly feed. Store this stuff with a lid on it. That will kind of help cut down on the amount of moisture that Epsom salt is going to draw into it. And I like to keep mine in a climate controlled place. I put my extra in the basement. The basement is cool, it is a constant temperature, and it does not have the issue as bad of absorbing the moisture there as it does outside in this heat and humidity. Once again, thanks for watching, and if you have any comments or any questions, let me know.